this is Sarah from Great Days by Sarah, and today I have for us a detoxing yoga flow. I'll put flow in quotation marks because part of it we're moving, the second part will be stationary. Not a traditional vinyasa flow yoga practice if that's what you're used to. But it will be detoxing. You don't need anything. I don't have my yoga blocks today, so if you have yoga blocks and you want to grab them, great. I'm going to use my short foam roller today to bring the floor to me and a couple of the postures to show you a modification. I also grabbed a couple couch cushions, which you probably won't need. Most of us don't need them, but the back of my neck is very stiff. If you're someone that looks down at a keyboard a lot of the day, this posture with this modification might actually work a little bit better for you. So if you have something like that, it can be a stack of blankets, it can be yoga blocks if you want the yoga blocks, but we'll come into a modification at the end that those might be helpful. But let's get started in a seated twist. Find space either on your mat or just in your space. Comfortable cross-legged. Hands can be grounded down on your knees. We'll take a couple big breaths together. Inhale. Exhale through your mouth. If it feels comfortable, close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale through your mouth. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. You've committed to be here today. Let's try to get our mind here as well. Let go of the to-do list, the laundry list, the cooking shopping list. If this is the day that you do your prep, hands to your heart. If you'd like to set an intention, now is a great time to do it. Just try to be present through these postures. This is a short workout today. We'll get through it together. Blink your eyes open if they were closed. Bring your hands down, up and around. Inhale. Right hand. Left leg. Reach it back. Sitting up tall. Start slow. It doesn't need to be the deepest twist. Inhale back up. And switch it. Inhale up, find length through your spine, back to the first side. Now maybe a little bit deeper, maybe you peer over that back shoulder. Shoulders are away from your ears. Last inhale lengthens you. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. This time feel free to tug a little bit on that outside knee to find a deeper twist. And back up through center. Nice and tall, and switch it over. Peek over that back shoulder if it feels good. Shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Inhale, spine goes long. Exhale, little twist. Back up through center. Hands come down and relax. Plant your left hand down. Right hand goes high. Reach it up and over. If you have the range of motion, the flexibility, maybe your elbow comes down to the mat, but just make sure this right glute stays down. So sits bones are still on the mat. If you realize you've gone a little too far, just push it right back up. Chest stays open, gaze goes up towards the ceiling. And switch it other way. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches high. Make sure this left sits bone stays down to the ground. And don't forget to breathe. Maybe it feels good to press your left knee towards the ground. And come back up. One more each side. Maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit deeper. Maybe you just change your breath. Maybe the posture doesn't change at all, but your breath gets a little bit deeper. And up and over. Tall and strong. Make sure those sits bones are still on the floor. Don't want your hip hiking up like this. Come up nice and slow. Wiggle out that cross leg and find a straddle, whatever that means for you. Flex through your feet, toes towards the sky. Make sure your knees are pointing up. And maybe this is just about enough for you. Maybe you feel it right here. If not, walk hands out a little bit more. Back stays nice and flat. So it doesn't matter how close your chest or your nose gets to the ground if you're completely rounding. Keep everything tall. Plant your left hand down. Right arm lifts high, finding this slight twist. Once again, if you have the flexibility, you can drop your elbow and focus on the twist. Just make sure your spine is still long. Feet are still flexed. And switch. Right hand comes down, left hand comes up. Once again, your breath. Inhale, breath. Make sure spine long. Exhale, twist you a little further. Switch it one more time. Let's get a little bit deeper of the inhale. Maybe you peer up towards your thumb on that right hand and switch it out. Left hand goes high. Maybe you peer up this time. And relax it down. If your hands are walked out, walk them in a little bit. And then wiggle those feet all the way back together. One leg out. So we'll start with our left leg out this time. Right leg comes in. Inhale comes up. And then we reach as far as we can go with this flat back. Drop our hands and sweep. Reach up. Find that stopping point, drop your hands and sweep. Core is tight, back is working, and this front foot is flexed the entire time. Two more like this. Get a little bit deeper each time, but don't sacrifice the length in your spine. Last one. Find that extension, and then with your arms up, can you switch it? A little bit of core. Flex through your right foot. Left foot is pulled in. Reach down. This is my stiffer side, and arms come up. I definitely can't go as far in this one. A little hamstring issues over here. But just find it until you feel that little bit of stretch, and drop those arms, sweep them down and up. Two more. Strong flex through your foot. Arms come up for one inhale. And then hands come down. Walk it over onto hands and knees for cat and cow. Wrists are below your shoulder blades. Fan your fingers out. And then maybe turn them out ever so slightly. Knees are comfortably beneath your hips. And then untuck your toes. Inhale, gaze up. Tailbone goes up. Exhale, press everything away from the mat and round. Inhale brings you up. Go at your own pace on this one. Do what feels good through your spine. Maybe wag your tail a little bit in either posture. Head, yes or no, whatever feels good. Last one, curl it up. Then find a nice neutral spine first. Walk your hands a little bit further in front of you. My shoulders are a little bit on the stiff side today. I'm going to turn my hands out slightly. My fingers are still fanned out. Tuck your toes. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Now play with this a little bit. We're going to come in and out of this. So test your plank. By test your plank, I mean slide forward to plank and then see what you need to do with your feet. I needed to move my toes back a little bit so my shoulders are directly over my wrists. If I'm like this, I need to move my feet back a little bit. If I'm here in my plank and my shoulders are not over my wrists, I need to move up a little bit. To modify, knees will be down and apart, but your hips are down. So if you're modifying today in this plank, you'll be here. Find your way back into down dog. Now that you got your spacing of your feet, press strong through your palms. Maybe slight bend in your knees, and then move your feet to touch or closer together. Send your weight into your left leg. Right leg comes high, but your hip is still square, so you're not opening your hip for this one today. It's staying square towards the ground. We're gonna exhale, bring it forward. Inhale, brings us back. And so we had to test that plank. Should be in that plank pose with one knee lifted for 2 more. Breathe. Really focus on the extension back. Every time, lift it as high as you can with your hips square. Last time forward. And plank. Holding this plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Send it back. Downward facing down dog. Other side. Left leg lifts. Hip is squared. Bring it forward. Exhale. Inhale brings it high and back. Exhale brings you forward. Keep moving. Keep breathing. 2 more. Last one back. Hold it forward. Find your plank or modified. Just long straight spine for 5, 4. You got this. 3, 2, and 1. Drop your knees. Send it back. Child's pose just for breath. Then slowly roll it up. We're going to come all the way up to stand into a wide-legged forward fold. So feet parallel to the edges of your yoga mat if you're using one today. Hands on your hips to start. And we're going to flow down just until you feel it and come back up. So starting slow. A little bit of bend through your knees. Your spine is long. And your weight stays evenly distributed. So you don't want to slip all the way into your heels or all the way into your toes as you're folding forward. Last one like this. Now we're going to take it from the bottom. Go all the way down. Let it hang just for a moment. I like to interlace my hands behind my head. Release my neck. And then hands come towards the ground. Now we're going the opposite. Try not to use your hands. Try to use your core. And we're coming up, fingertips, and down. So use your hands as little as you can. Of course, if it's impossible to lift up, use your arms. As you lift up to those fingertips, back is flat, spine is long and strong, pressing through all 4 corners of your feet. You'll probably notice when I say that, you'll notice where all your weight is. Mine tends to be on the inside of my ankles. I want to focus on pressing the outside edges of my feet. Last one like this. We'll lift and lower. Drop your knees. We're coming down onto the mat. However gracefully or ungracefully as you can. And we're going to find Locust Pose. So come all the way down onto your belly. Toes are going to be, I say touching. It's very hard for me to keep my toes touching, but you don't want them wide. So toes towards each other. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your thighs. Hands can be just underneath your shoulders to start. Let's do the leg part. Lift your legs. It can be tiny. It might be big, depending on how your lower back, your lower half of your body is feeling today, and set it down. Now let's just do your arms. Reach your arms back, palms face the ground, and lift up. Shoulders away from your ears, toes are down just to start, and lower. Now we'll put it all together. We're going to lift, breathe, and lower slow. When you lower, try to relax everything just for a moment. Chin comes down, relax everything, let it go jello, then lift back up. To really focus on that engagement every single time. If you're like me, your toes have made their way away from each other. Try to bring them back in, even if they don't lift as high. And release. 2 more. Last one we'll hold. Highest one yet. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lift. And release it. Press it back. Child's pose. And slowly bring it back up to stand. Finding yourself into crescent. Like I said, not a traditional vinyasa flow on this one. I'm going to find yourself into Crescent Lunge first. I'm going to start with my right leg forward, my left leg back. For Crescent, unlike Warrior One, we have our back heel down, back heel stays lifted through Crescent. So I'm going to bend both my knees to start. My front leg is directly over my front ankle. My back leg, I like to bend it to start so I can really tuck my hips under and then find the extension. And some days are better than others. I really feel this through my hip flexor a lot today. I ran yesterday, so they are definitely stiff. But straighten it as much as you can. You're gonna find this moving crescent. Then we're gonna add on. So press up and lower. Press up and lower. Press up a little bit deeper. Last 2. And 1. Adding on, find the crescent, find the prayer twist. Left elbow outside your right leg, hands pressed together. If this is way too much, drop it. If you can hold it, we're here. Last challenging flow part of our practice today. Inhale brings you up, keep the leg bent. Exhale brings you into this twist. Inhale brings you up, crescent. My front leg does not move. 2 more like that. Up, crescent, stretch that back leg, find that twist. Maybe you look over that top elbow. Last one up, and twist. Back knee comes down, hands come down, bring it back to downward facing dog, and shake it out. I'm going to flip around just so you can see what the other side looks like, but feel free to stay in your down dog. No need to flip directions. And down dog, 1 more breath. Lift your left leg high and bring it through. We'll all meet in crescent. This back heel is lifted. If you're finding yourself wobbly, kind of falling out of it like I just was, find yourself on railroad tracks instead of that tightrope. Give yourself a little bit wider base. Start with both knees bent. Tuck that tailbone under. Front knee, make sure it's right over at front ankle. And then straighten through this back leg. Hands come up. And we flow. Straighten. And bend. Straighten. And bend. Straighten. Abs tight. Bend. Last 2. Then we're going to add the twist. And here it is. Hands to heart center. Right arm outside this knee. Press your hands together to find that twist. Maybe gaze is up over this elbow. Maybe it's towards the ceiling. Straighten your back leg. Shoulders away from your ears. Unclench your teeth. And breathe. Here we go. Inhale, crescent. Front leg is working so strong. Exhale, prayer twist. You just have 4 like this. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Prayer twist. Inhale. Exhale, press to that elbow in your knee. And last one comes up. Keep it low, sink it low. You got this. Strong twist. Twist, 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 twist. And release it. We'll come back. We'll meet in down dog. Pedal out your feet. Sway your hips side to side. Then lift your right leg up. Right leg comes forward. But listen for the change. We're going to switch over and find Skandasana. So we're on this right heel, if it's possible. My heel is not touching the ground today. It's going to be a little higher up. But this left knee is towards the ceiling. Left foot is towards the ceiling. And we'll stay here. If this is very uncomfortable, come up into this side lunge here, or even with your foot dropped. But if you can come down. You can sink your heel, sink your heel. We'll add the arms for the twist. Reach your right arm around and back, your left arm up and over, and I'm gonna just fall out of it because it's just easier that way, and try to latch hands together to find the twist, and then maybe I'll try to come back up into it. We'll see. Here it is. Definitely not a strong pose today. There it is. And then find the twist. If the bind is not there, reach the right hand out, left hand comes up, and find the twist. We're only here once. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Sit it back, relax it, stretch it out, and we'll come into the other side. Left leg, Skandasana. Sink down into your heel. Right knee is up, right foot is up. See, this is the side I should have started on. Definitely my better side. Find the pose first. Maybe this is enough. Maybe you feel this in your inner thigh and you're like, yeah, that's good for me today. If you want to try the bind, left arm comes behind this left leg. I kind of almost can reach like the middle of my glute. Arm comes up, flip the palm over, clasp my hands, and then I don't want to be down here. I want it to peel it open. Look over my shoulder. If the bind is not there for you, reach the left hand out, right arm comes up. This left arm can still press into this left knee to get a little bit of a deeper stretch and a deeper twist. A much better side for me. You never know what you're going to get when you wake up in the morning, what kind of body shows up. And sit it back, relax it, stretch it out. Coming back up onto our feet for a Revolve Triangle. This is when I'm going to use my prop over here. I have my short foam roller today. Maybe you have a yoga block. You can even do it. I do it a lot of times with my water bottle. If I don't have a block in practice here. We're going to start with our right foot in front, which is definitely my stiffer side. Reach your left foot back. This time, your back heel is going to be planted. Your stance is definitely shorter than it is in, say, a warrior two. You'll know what you need to do when you bend down into it. You'll feel what your hips need to do. So the first thing I want you to do is square your hips, or square your hips as much as you can. I'm going to start with my prop on the inside of my foot. The full expression of the pose is your hand to the outside of your foot, but a lot of people can't keep the length in your back when you go there, so I like the modification. My front foot is pointing forward, my back foot is slanted slightly, and then I'll reach my hands up. And as I reach out, I'm going to reach out with my left hand. Because it's revolved, it's twisted, it's here. My left hand comes down to my prop, my right hand comes up. I feel this immediately through this right side and through this whole IT band. Here's the pose in the modification. Now, if you don't need this, and you can get down to the ground, but still trying to open your chest. This is where a lot of people sacrifice it just to touch the ground. I like the prop. Or if you have it in your practice to reach towards the outside, you get a deeper twist. I can move my prop to the outside and get a deeper twist. This is a little much on my hips today, but I'll stay here for a moment and breathe. You want to feel the stretch, but you definitely don't want to be in pain. Both legs are straight. You'll see what I mean now, like if you have a real wide stance and you want to move your feet in a little bit, your body will tell you that immediately. Breathe for 2. And 1. If you're on something, just try it for a moment and see if you can get the floor and see what it does to your posture in that full expression of the pose. I don't look at a prop as like cheating the pose by any means. If anything, it's just making the posture feel like it should feel in your body today, which doesn't mean it's going to be like that tomorrow. Other side, left leg steps out, right foot is back. Find your stance first, find your hips. Square them off, pull your left hip back, right hip forward, both legs are straight. I'll start once again with the prop on the inside. Hands come up, and I'm going to reach my right hand down, my left hand up, and I look up towards my top hand. This side's a little bit better for me, so I'm going to grab my water bottle, a little bit lower of my prop, and I can get a little bit deeper and still keep the integrity of the pose. Maybe some days you need to go a little bit higher. Breathe. Keep pulling this left hip back, right hip forward. And then if you'd like to, try it on the outside of your foot. If you want to go a little bit deeper, find the deeper part of the twist in this revolve triangle. So strong, so much balance, so much core, and release it. Come down to your hands and knees. I'm going to turn around just because my props are back here. This is when I'm going to use my couch cushions. We're going to go into a plow pose. I have some hamstring issues that I'm dealing with, so going into plow pose and bringing my feet over my head doesn't necessarily feel great on my hamstrings these days. So I'm going to show you a modification with the couch cushion that I discovered really makes a big difference. So I'm going to put them at the top of my mat. Might have to play with the distance a little bit. My legs are pretty long, so they're pretty far away from me. And here's how we'll look. We'll start down on our backs and bring your feet up towards the sky. And you might realize that this could be all you need to do today to get a stretch through the back part of your body and through the back of your neck. Hands are going to press on the mat or help your hips go up and over. So I'm going to use a little bit of momentum here, tightness through my core, and send my hips pressing through my elbows up and back and find my couch cushions. You want to keep your chin facing forward. Don't turn side to side. So don't try to look at your screen in this one. And breathe. And then if you realize, you're like, well, this doesn't feel so bad. If I'm elevated, can I just do one? The back of your neck is really tight. Reverse it and come out a little bit of it. Maybe your hands no longer need to hold your hips and they press towards the ground. Pull your chin a little bit away from your chest. If your feet can reach the ground, fantastic. That's not in this body today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe a month from now. I'm going to go one more big breath. We're going to come out of it the way we came. Hands help the hips. Slowly lower down all the way to the mat. We're going to reverse this. Open up to a heart opener. Legs extend out. Same elbows, press down to puff up your chest. And maybe this is enough. Especially if you have motion issues, this could be enough. I just opened a space behind my back. My heart is towards the ceiling. If you'd like a little bit more, or want to try a little bit more, press up so the top of your head is on the mat. Chest, throat, even your mouth can be open. Always reverse it if it doesn't feel good. And then press in your elbows, tuck your chin, bring it right down. Hug one knee into your chest, and then the other. Rock side to side. A little bit of massage on your lower back. Then when you're ready, cross your left leg over your right today, and then drop your knees to the side. A slight variation of this spinal twist. If it's too much, unwrap them. Gaze to the left. Depending on how much space you have, reach your arms apart. Knees come back to center. Switch it out. Right leg comes over. Hips shift a little to the side. Gaze goes towards the right. Back up through center. Give yourself one last final hug. Everything comes up. Squeeze it in. Big inhale. Exhale. Let it go. Savasana. We're only here for a moment. Please take this time. Close your eyes. Realize how incredible your body was for going through that. Let go of the control of your breath. Let everything sink into the floor. Let's do one last big inhale together. Inhale it all in. Exhale through your mouth. Hands come to heart center in this Savasana position. Please bring your thumbs to your third eye, that space between your eyebrows. Thank you for joining me in this detox workout today. Go have a great day. Namaste.